Hey, I'm Gabrielle Orr and I'm really excited to show you my new book, Akashic Records, One True Love, a practical guide to access your own Akashic Records. Actually, it's not a totally new book, it's the second edition of my first book, but there are some really new, nice things in there and I hope you will really enjoy it. This is a really practical book. I've written it as a workbook for seminar participants so they can practice at home even better how to access their Akashic records and how to establish their connection with their own masters and teachers. It will help you to work on your own issues in your life, to find more clarity, to include more love in your life, and also to find a balance, an equilibrium between your personal life and your career, between head and heart, and between body, mind, and soul. So let me show you a few things that I really like about the book and that I think will be very beneficial for you as you learn how to access your own Akashic records. By the way, the title, One True Love, originally I had a title My True Love because for me the Akashic records are really my one true love. And then my masters and teachers said, we are there for everybody. It's not just for you. Please change it into One True Love. So that's how the title came about. If you are like me, you like to read a book, especially a workbook, and flip through the chapters and go back and forth. I really invite you not to do this with this content. The book and my seminars are set up to show you that you're really connected to the Akashic records and not that you have to just trust some information. So the exercises in this book are so set up that you know, okay, this information comes from the Akashic records and this I might still need to work on a little bit. So please trust me, trust the process. I'm doing this for many, many years and I promise you, you will get the greatest benefit out of it if you start in the beginning and you do not skip through the book. Just take one exercise at a time. Take one step at a time, okay? This way you don't stumble and you will get the best benefit from this book. So let me go through this, okay? I will talk about what it means that your intention matters. So you have a clear mindset whenever you do spiritual work, not just work in the Akashic records. So just get really clear of what you want. And there's nothing wrong with having two motives, or maybe even three, as long as they come from an energy from the heart. So you definitely can have the motive of, I want to help myself, I want to improve my life, I want to just find more inner peace, more joy in my life. And at the same time, you have the motive of, I want to use this work in my career. I want to be able to be more present in meetings, to contribute more success in my company or in my own business. So it's okay to have more than one intention as you start your work with the Akashic records. Then it shows you how to use the book, which I told you already. Read it from the beginning. The exercises are created in a way so we can eventually prove to you that you're connected to the Akashic records. Then we come to part 1. And part 1 will teach you a little bit about science in the Akashic records. And by that I mean, can science actually prove that this field of the Akashic records exists? This is not really important for you in order to connect to your Akashic records, but I find it very informative, very interesting. And yes, science can prove today that these this field of the Akashic Records exists. So I hope you really enjoy this part. It will help you to gain a deeper understanding in that this is not just spiritual work, but that it is even scientifically proven that this field of the Akashic Records exists. So I really hope you will enjoy this part. Very briefly, I also address what the Akashic Records actually are and what you can expect from doing this Akashic Records work. We will also talk about past lives and what you need to know about past lives. In your Akashic Records, it does come up. Not every Akashic Record reading is about past lives. In my experience, past lives show up if they are in any way related to whatever you are experiencing in your current life. And with past lives, let me explain to you what I mean by that, okay? So, for our human life, or for our human experience, our life starts at birth and ends at death. And so we call one beginning and the other one an end. And then in our mind, we think that's it. There's nothing before or after that. But our soul has been created many, many, many lifetimes before this experience. So the soul waves through each human experience. And so let's think of it like there's an experience 200 or 300 years ago from our understanding. And when this human back then died, the soul didn't die with it. The soul just keeps on waving through every experience that we have. So maybe the soul goes on a vacation in that time, okay? Of course, we will carry on experiences from one human lifetime to another human lifetime, either to grow and to expand, to come deeper into love. So it is natural that whatever we are experiencing today, if the origin is from a past life, then we will have a past life experience in the Akashic Records. So it's nothing to be afraid of. It's a very natural thing. It just matters on how you understand what past lives actually are. I also address the attributes of the heart. The attributes of the heart are important for us to make any spiritual connection. You know that you're not really in your heart energy if you're overly concerned with your past and your future, or if you have a lot of numbers in your head, like numbers in regard to money or age or anything like that. So I will talk about how you can get more into your heart to really experience your spiritual connection deeply. I also address in this book how you can connect to your Akashic Records. We will use a prayer that will enable you to connect to your masters and teachers at any time, no matter where you are. This prayer will allow you to calm your ego, to silence your ego, and to get your energy up to your 8th chakra. You don't have to even go higher than that. The rest will be done from source. So all we want is to get your energy up to the 8th chakra so you can make the connection and then have your communication with your own masters and teachers. I also address in one exercise on how to work with images. So we receive from our masters and teachers in the Akashic Records sometimes an image as an answer. And it's important that we learn how to ask questions about it. Not every image means the same thing for every situation or for every person. So you might receive an image of a rose and you immediately assume that it means romance. But it could also be that the masters and teachers show you that there are thorns on the rose and that it is important for you to really get into this relationship very slowly, otherwise you would be hurt. So address how to work with images, how you can feel the energy of the Akashic Records and the energy of the answer. Feeling is really important. When you allow the energy, that feeling to come into you, that vibration goes through every cell of your body, and it will push out that energy that you have stored in your cells, in your cellular memory. It pushes out whatever is not in harmony with this high vibration. So you are literally changing the frequency you're vibrating on. It will create physical healing, emotional healing, mental healing for you. So you just feel more inner peace and joy in your life. So feeling is a very important subject. The other thing that we will address is how to ask the right questions in the Akashic Records. Remember the Sesame Street, where it's really, the song is like, I only know it in German, sorry, but wer, wie, was, wieso, weshalb, warum, which means why, who, with whom. If you don't ask the question, you stay stupid. Basically, that would be the translation. I don't know if there is even an English version for that or not. But it is important that we know how to ask proper questions in the Akashic Records to receive the best beneficial answer for your question, okay? So manipulative questions will not really get you the right result. Think of it like this. With a question, you offer a specific energy to this realm of the Akashic Records. And that realm, that field, responds to the energy that you are offering. So we will learn how to ask the right questions in the Akashic Records. And then another subject is how to inquire information about a neutral subject. So it's not always just about emotional or physical or mental healing in your work with the Akashic Records. You can also just ask, what do I need to know about this program in relationship to me? Or please, masters and teachers, give me information if I should go and see the Dalai Lama speak in New York, or whatever you would want to ask. You can ask, what can you tell me about Harley Davidsons that my husband likes so much? So it's really up to you what you ask. You will receive information about neutral subjects, and you will get more insight into neutral subjects and how they relate to you. Past lives, I already addressed earlier. One exercise addresses prayers and affirmations. Prayers and affirmations can really help us to move through difficult times. Basically, it's a mantra that we over and over repeat if we are recognizing that our ego wants to go in a different direction than what is actually beneficial for us. So specific prayers and mantras and affirmations from the masters and teachers can really change a lot in your life. There are also grace points in this book. Grace points are very similar to acupuncture points or the points we tap on in EFT, in emotional freedom technique. So on the grace points, we stimulate, manipulate a soft tissue in our hands that relates to a specific emotion or cellular memory in our body. And then in the Akashic Records, we can release stuck energy that is stuck in our cells. We can release it by stimulating these points, just like you release specific emotions in your meridians when you tap, when you use EFT. So these grace points are extremely beneficial. We will contact ancestors. So I will show you how you can ask ancestors to step forward and give you any advice or maybe clarification on whatever happened before they passed away. There's nothing to be afraid of, and actually this is much easier than you would think, because they love to talk to us. And they usually have 3 messages for us. The first one is, I am sorry. The second one is, I love you. And the third one is, don't worry so much. Love your life and be joyful. And then the last exercise, I'll give you a few tips, additional tips on what you can do in your work with the Akashic Records to really be sure that you are not just making these answers up that are coming to you, but that they are coming from the Akashic Records and that they are really meant for you and your well-being. I really hope that you will enjoy your connection to the Akashic Records as much as I do and as much as many of my students do. I think this work is life transforming. It will give you clarity, it will make you more happy, more joyful. I mean, I know it sounds like I'm selling you something, but I wouldn't sit here and talk to you about it if I wouldn't feel it in my life, that miracles happen all the time with this work, and if I wouldn't have witnessed it so many times with my clients and students. I truly hope that you will enjoy Akashic Records One True Love. It's a practical guide to access your own Akashic Records. I love you. Bye bye.